Happy Monday. I hope you had a relaxful weekend. Today's not going to be the most exciting of all these video lessons, but it might be one of the most important. It's definitely something that I'm going to come back to, so I'll probably title this video something easy to remember and easy to find, because here's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about all of the scales that we should know by the end of the year. Every single one of them. And there's going to be a chance at the end of this video, and that's the important part. The end of this video will just be all of those scales laid out top to bottom. Some of them are 2 octaves, some of them are 1 octave. Some of them, the violins and cellos and violas, have different amounts of octaves. And these scales came from a website with audition materials for the East Valley Youth Symphony. So they're kind of our biggest kind of youth non-school related group that is formed and plays concerts and stuff. So if you're interested in being in an orchestra outside of just what school has to offer, that's all on their website that's not updated. They're like everybody else right now. They don't know what's happening when. So I would guess that by August, things are back to normal, and they'll pick up their auditions in August for next year's youth symphony. I think that's how it works. I could be wrong, but right now that's their website's just not updated. So the important part, though, all the scales that they ask to hear in the auditions are the scales that I'm going to teach here this year, so that after a year with me at least, you are prepared to audition for that group if you want to. Yeah. Announcements, real quick again, regarding all of your stuff back here. I'm going to be emailing you. Emailing Sue. You probably have already, because this is Monday. You're watching this Monday. You've probably already got the email from me by now. If you haven't gotten an email from me about when and where and how to pick up all your stuff, that means either I don't have it, it wasn't in the room, I can't find it, I'm sorry, or it's here, it just doesn't have a name on it. So all the emails that went out over the weekend, those were people that I know whose stuff is whose. I still have a couple method books, and I still have a couple shoulder rests. If you think you're missing one of those, it's first come, first serve. Email me the best description you've got of it. If it's a blue one, if it's a junky one, if it's the wooden one, you know what to do. Yeah, so get a hold of me if you think I have something of yours, and we'll work that out. I think that's all the announcements. I hope all this stuff is going smoothly. This is the beginning of week 3, starting from when you watch this video. So if you didn't do anything last week as far as emailing me practice journals and stuff, then you don't get a good thing for last week. That's all done now. But if you email me something from now on, that's for this week, and we'll get that all updated in Oregon Trail. Cool? Hopefully that Oregon Trail website or web document that I have on the Oregon Trail tab, that should be updated by now if you turned something in last week. So check that out too. Let's get started today with some open string blues as usual. 1, 2, and here we go. If you feel like your strings are out of tune, after all that, scroll all the way to the bottom to the tuning video. Go back there, check that out, and make sure you're in tune. Hopefully you're playing on strings that are in tune, otherwise it's not going to sound very pleasing to you. So check that out. If you're struggling with tuning in any way, check something out as a separate video. I don't know where I'm going to put it yet, but there's a tuning update I want to do. I just don't want to make it part of this video. It might be below the video, but there's another tuning thing I want you guys to check out, because some of you might have found that you're running into a wall of tunage, and that video is going to help. So check around here somewhere, probably below this video. And if you're really, really struggling, jump onto the Zoom lessons, Microsoft Teams lessons, and we can get you set up there. Cool. So let's jump in to some scales. There's 6 scales that you should know by the time you leave my class. There's 6 scales that East Valley Youth Symphony wants to hear if you're going to audition into their group in August-ish, maybe. There's 6 scales that your future orchestra teachers at the middle school are going to just be ecstatic if you already know. And those 6 scales are this. Get ready to write them down. They're important. Violins. Right? It's different for violins and viola cellos. The 1 octave C major scale. The 2 octave G major scale. The 1 octave D major scale. The 1 octave F major scale. The 2 octave A major scale, and the 2 octave B flat major scale. Cellos, violas, you got the same scales, but your number of octaves are different.
The C scale is 2 octaves. Your G scale is 1 octave. Then you've got a 2 octave D scale, and the rest of them are 1 octave. F, A, B flat. All 1 octave scales. Viola, you're the same as the cello. Rewind and listen to that. I won't say it again.
And bass, I've only got 1 bass player, and she played with East Valley Youth Symphony last year, so she knows what's going on. Like, just keep being awesome. You're cool. Yeah. So anyway, let's jump into some scales. So when we play these scales, everything's gonna get a whole note. So these are long, slow bows, giving you plenty of time to think about what your left-handed fingers are doing. We're gonna do another video very similar to this in another week or so, and another one in another week or so. And each time we're gonna get faster and faster fingers. So this week we're playing whole notes. Next week we'll do half notes. The week after that we'll play quarter notes. And you'll be flying up and down these scales in no time. If for now those whole notes are really just annoyingly slow for you, you can pick any of the rhythms that get 4 beats we've been working on. Pepperoni pizza, oh look, a taco. And you can play those rhythms on the notes to make it a little more interesting. Cool? Awesome. You'll notice down here, it says violin. If I'm talking about violins, cellos, violas, you can just move ahead and jump forward to the cello. I recorded all of these for both of you. Cool? For violin, C scale. I want to remind you that your C scale is only 1 octave, and it starts third finger on the G string. Otherwise, you know this C scale. Here we go. Here's our G scale for violins. The lower octave starts open G, so all you gotta worry about is that 1, 2, 3, open 1, 2, 3 pattern. That second octave, you jump into the stuff with low second fingers. So that pattern changes in between the two octaves. Here we go. I shouldn't need to say too much about the D scale. Now the F scale is a little bit funky because you're starting on that D string low 2 to play the F natural. So that's a whole new finger pattern that we haven't really worked on a whole lot in class yet. Good thing it's down here for you. Good luck. So the top octave of this A scale is pretty easy. It starts on your open A, so it's open 1, 2, 3, open 1, 2, 3. But the lower octave, it's got high third fingers in it. Yeah, take your third finger, reach it up a little higher. Can you do it? High 3. Because you don't want to be playing G's, you want to be playing G sharps. And that's a high 3. Alright, here we go. And lastly, our B flat scale. We worked on the upper octave of this last week, and we worked on the lower octave of this right before all of this started. Fingerings are down here. Good luck. Alright, cellos and violas, it's your turn. C scale. This one's 2 octaves. The bottom one of it's on your open C, so it's simple. Second octave is where we start using those low 2s if you're viola, and second finger instead of third for the cellos. Here we go. G major's your easy one. Have fun with it. Open G. D scale. Now, this is a 2-octave one for you. The upper octave is the one that you probably play almost every day and you know super well, way easy, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, cool. The lower octave, you're starting with the first finger on your low C string in order to get that D. Violas, this means you're in the same boat as the violins, where you're learning that the high third finger. So we've done low 1, we've done low 2. Our third finger is going to stretch the other way, and it's going to stretch to make a higher sound. So you've got some high 3s if you're a viola. Cellos, this is where the forward, backward extension thing comes into play that we were talking about in a couple other videos last week. What happens is when we need to extend our fourth finger out a little bit, which is going to happen here, we need to get higher than where our fourth finger usually goes. That's why the violins and violas are playing their high 3s. For you, it's basically a high 4. If you're going into that note from a note below, like we do in a scale as we go into it, it's gonna mess up your hand position as you try to reach. So the way I'm reading this, and I'm kind of learning this along with you guys. So if there's a cello player out there that knows for sure I'm wrong, please let me know. When that pinky extends down, the rest of your hand follows a little bit, and your second finger moves up to where the third finger normally hangs out. Now you can try to play it the way it seems like it's normally supposed to be, which would be, let's see, 1, 3, extended 4, open. But you're gonna, it's gonna be uncomfortable. And instead, what I think I said that right. So your 2, because it's easier to stretch between your first and second finger than these ones down here. I think that's the point of this. So our second finger stretches to where the third normally goes, which makes it easier to extend that fourth finger down. Let's go with that. So when you look at these fingerings below here, I'm going to put a 3 because it's the third finger spot, but then in parentheses, I'm going to put a 2 to let you know that you can use your second finger where that third finger goes. I hope you got it. It happens twice in there. Best of luck to ya. Here we go. Alright, for your F scale, you're starting down there with your third finger viola, fourth finger cellos. So as you move up those strings, You're going to have some low twos in this one. Make sure you catch those. It's only one octave. Your A scale, also only one octave. It's got some more of those high threes for violas and extended fours for cellos. Don't let them get you. Here we go. And lastly, we have arrived at our one octave B flat scale. This is the one we did last week with you guys. You're starting on that low 2 G string, second finger if you're a cello. Here we go, last one.